All right, everybody. So, for about 3 or 4 months now, we have slowly been tracking the degradation of Twitter. It might have even been less time. It feels like so much has happened that it sort of needs to have been 3 to 4 months, but it might have actually been less time than that has passed since Elon Musk bought Twitter and started destroying it. It feels like it's been 4 or 5 months. Anyway, so far, or at least up until recently, Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter and the changes that he's made have been mostly detrimental to him. Less so than, like, the user base of Twitter, right? Yes, he fired, like, teams of engineers and moderators and everything like that, and the website was unusable, and still to this day, I will, like, have to refresh my entire Twitter just to see new messages coming into a group chat, otherwise they will never appear, as if nobody has been active in there. You have to, like, keep clicking refresh to see new messages. So yeah, Twitter is definitely broken, but outside of that, there wasn't really much. His changes weren't having as big of an impact on the user base until, I think, yesterday. You see, outside of advertisers pulling off of the site, which if anything just improves the user experience but fucks over Elon, it's mostly been the same, right? Like, it's more or less been the same old Twitter, just with Nazis and conservatives feeling more mask off, talking about how bad they want to murder and wood chipper gay people. Whole lot more of that lately, obviously. But, it wasn't until yesterday when I woke up and I got on Twitter, all right? I guess I'll take you through the line of events sort of sequentially, if that's more ideal. I was scrolling through Twitter first thing in the morning, get up, grab some coffee, sit down at my computer, scroll through Twitter, see what's up, see what I missed, scroll through my DMs, see what I, answer everything. I see this tweet as the very first tweet in my timeline. And it has a little star next to it that says, we think you might like this, or Twitter thinks you might like this, from this Bridget Gabriel lady saying, the voting age should be 21, not 16. I guess there's somewhere where people are insisting the voting age should be 16, but honestly, I think it should be 16, if we're being honest. Like, why shouldn't 16-year-olds be able to vote if they're able to work? Canada is where they're talking about that? Yeah, sure. If you're able to work at 16 years old, you should be able to vote. You see, conservatives want to raise the voting age to 21 because, one, they have less representation among younger demographics. It really is just that simple. Like, the less... The older you have to be to vote, the more percentage of the voter base will vote Republican, which is pretty important for them. But it's also a matter of basically normalizing voter disenfranchisement, right? The more what's the word I'm looking for? Impositions? I think that's the word. The more impositions that the Republicans can put between a given demographic and voting, the more they can justify other demographics having a harder time getting access to voting, right? So, for example, obviously, we've seen voter ID laws attempted in places like, I don't even remember if it was North or South Carolina, if I'm being honest, one of them, where they attempt to implement voter ID laws that the Supreme Court determined were surgically targeting non-white people to try to keep them from voting. This is not uncommon. This is just an example of someone advocating for voter disenfranchisement. I don't think I need to explain all of that. But it's interesting that Twitter specifically recommended it to me as something that I might like. But, could be a one-off, right? Could just be a one-off, could just be a one-off. Next, I see this tweet in my recommended, a Matt Walsh tweet. Kids number 5 and 6 were born last night. The males in the family now outnumber the females 5-3. My master plan is complete. Mom and babies are healthy and doing well. Thank you for all your prayers. That is Matt Walsh, known wanting to killer of trans people, being weird about 2 new children being born. Like, dude can't even have a wholesome moment without being weird about it. What an amazing quote from Merrick, by the way. Yeah, Matt Walsh. Anyway, so we get a Matt Walsh tweet. Okay, I scroll a little further, and then I see this, a reply to a post from Woman Posting Els, that says, These are all being recommended to me by Twitter, by the way. Like, these aren't like, oh, these are coming up incidentally. These are like Twitter saying, we think you might like this, a little star next to it. Lamau risks, good joke. This is in response to somebody saying sex workers are discriminated against. Lamau risks, good joke. They provide nothing useful to society. In fact, they help deteriorate it. Hence why it's important to out them to friends and family. They do sex quote-unquote work because they think there are no consequences for their abhorrent actions. It needs to change. So this straight up, like, hateful, wanting to, like, destroy the lives of sex workers. Cool, cool, cool. Next, I see this tweet in my timeline. Reminder, the Supreme Court says Jewish symbols are permitted on state property, but not Christian ones. And it's just that. I mean, I think you guys can guess what that's implying. I mean, like, the point of good Nazi propaganda is that the Nazis get it, but the normies don't, right? And you just make, like, a statement, and you just leave it out there for those that get it to sort of interpret it. Yep, this is another one that Twitter recommended to me, but this is from today. Or I got recommended it today. So here's footage of a protest where there are pro-LGBT people protesting and Antifa people are there to, like, protect them from Proud Boys and whatnot. And this person tweeted, with over 1,000 likes, there may literally come a day when the choice is either look the other way and let sickos groom kids for sex or become a quote-unquote Nazi. That day may be here right now. So just saying it's either become a Nazi or the gays will groom and rape kids, but by groom and rape kids, they mean kids will find out gay people exist, which what they basically mean, the translation of the propaganda, the mask-off translation is, we're becoming Nazis and we want to kill you because you want to exist, which pretty much just means you're not allowed to exist because they're Nazis, and Nazis can't allow people that they view as degenerate to exist in any way, shape, or form because they see them as a threat. You see, these neo-Nazis online they aren't just like people with different opinions. They're people who every single day that they don't take up arms and go shoot up some multicultural, multi-ethnic place, they are not living up to their, to their principles. And they know that, and they feel down about it. Look at 4chan posts and 8chan posts where they talk about how much they hate themselves, that they aren't brave enough to go take up arms and go shoot up a mall full of non-white people. Or a synagogue or a mosque. They love posting that shit. They are actively depressed that they don't have the balls to go kill brown people. They post about it all the fucking time. It's very common. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about, I think it's safe to say that judging by the fact that these changes, these, like, tweets coming in has really happened, particularly over the last couple days, that this is probably a recent algorithm change made by Twitter, and I think I know what algorithm change that is. Chat, have any of you guys been having a similar experience? Were most of you having a fairly, like, decent timeline that was actually stuff you were interested in from people that, like, didn't think you were subhuman, but then for, like, the last 2 days specifically, it's just been non-stop Twitter recommending, like, genocidal propaganda? So I'm not the only one. There's quite a few people in chat saying they've had the same problem. No, but I've seen a lot of people I follow dealing with that. I wonder if it's a change they're slowly, like, rolling out, and I wonder if you're gonna see more and more people complaining about it as it gets rolled out to more people. That's actually really interesting to me. I'm curious to find out what change was actually made. But here's my theory. Here's the theory of what change I think was made. You see, I don't think it's actually, like, debatable that Twitter probably had filters that were in place to keep hateful content somewhat suppressed, right? Like, for example, if somebody tweeted, the gays are pedophilic groomers and we will kill them all, chances are, on old Twitter, that would be suppressed to the point where it wouldn't end up on your timeline with thousands of likes, unless it was from a very large creator with an already baked-in audience, right? Nowadays, though, it seems like every other tweet that I'm seeing is, at the very least, subtly hinting at wanting to do genocide, or at the JQ, or just pretty much endorsing far-right violence against minorities. And what I'm curious about is, as this change rolls out, how much more are we going to continuously see more and more and more and more and more, etc., people calling this out? And two, how many more advertisers are going to pull off the platform? Hell, we've got another one right now. I just got recommended a tweet from Cat Turd. Look at this. I literally just checked my Twitter timeline for shits and giggles, and my second tweet recommended is from Cat Turd, which is a far-right gimmick account. People say is Elon Musk's alt account. I don't know. I don't follow these fucking numbskulls or care enough about them to... Listen, the most thought I will give to these people will be when they die, all right? When I find out that these people have died, I will laugh and I will celebrate and I will smile, and that will be the most thought that they get from me, all right? The most energy that my brain, the most calories my brain burns processing that information of their existence will be the day that I find out that they have passed from this mortal realm. Anyway, this Cat Turd guy is a Nazi. Just Nazi, anti-vaxxer. Actually, here's a good example of, like, the type of anti-vax shit, this absolute fucking... I'm really trying to think of words to call this person that won't get me banned, but, like, I need to emphasize to all of you that this person is a living argument that makes me wonder, you know, maybe eugenicists have a point in certain situations, right? That's a joke, But seriously, this came up on my timeline the other day as well. The vaccinated are lashing out because deep inside they're scared shitless. He then proceeds to spend the rest of the day tweeting about how like, if he was vaccinated, he would be very scared right now. I don't know what happened, but, like, a bunch of far-right accounts were spamming my timeline saying that, like, if I was vaccinated, I'd be very scared right now. The vaccinated are terrifying. The vaccinated are shaking their boots right now. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Are they just, like, testing or celebrating that they can be, like, anti-vax without any pushback now by the platform? Okay. Yeah, it's very clear that they've made a change in the Twitter algorithm, the Titter algorithm, if you will. And that previously they were basically suppressing, obviously, you know, pro-misinformation tweets with a certain level of accuracy and hate speech tweets. And I think Elon Musk has basically just pulled the plug fully on that change. Eugenics against eugenicists. Basically, yeah. Which means it's like Thanos. You have to be the last one to go in the end once you've accomplished your mission, you know? Because you were the final eugenicist. Do you think Twitter is recommending tweets that you won't necessarily like, but you'd interact with, like quote tweet? If it's just a very unfortunate side effect of that, it's promoting these terrible tweets, or do you think they're purposely promoting far-right filth? I don't think they're purposely promoting far-right filth. Far-right filth doesn't need artificial inflation by platforms in order to garner an audience like that, or to garner a lot of, like, social, like, mobility, like, not social mobility, that's a different term, like, social cause push in a community, right? They don't need that. The right has always had a very massive audience online, and it's always been very easy for just some random dumb fuck to pick up their microphone and start talking about how feminists are ruining video games, for example, and to garner a pretty substantial audience that they can live off of quite comfortably without much effort, right? That's not a secret. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's more so that Twitter removed a filter that existed before to try to suppress misinformation and hate speech. So we'll see how that does for the platform in the long run, guys. As a matter of fact, I'm curious. If you enjoyed this video and you want to help out in the algorithm, you can actually do one thing that has two outcomes. You can comment down below what your predictions are for the future of Twitter now, because honestly, things are looking rough. Things are looking rough. I haven't even seen an ad on Twitter in months. I don't know, guys. Comment down below what you think is going to happen to Twitter. Is it slowly dying? Do you think this change, rolling out to more and more people, is going to make the platform so unusable for anyone who isn't a straight, cis, het, white person who's got an edgy sense of humor, that the platform will just kind of fall apart and we'll end up seeing it get replaced? How long is that going to take? I'm curious. You tell me down below. It also helps me out in the algorithm because that's engagement, and I like engagement. You can also help me by commenting, or not commenting, by liking the video, or subscribing, ringing the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube tells you when I go live or I upload a new video or anything like that. You can also follow my social medias linked down below, including my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, fan Discord, etc. If you want to support me financially and you've got the money for it and you don't need it for anything else, you can always donate, subscribe, or gift a sub to me on my website by hitting one of the buttons up there on the top left, or you can support me on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.